We were told, Rick, that you have an interesting theory. I have no idea what the theory is. I wasn't briefed on it, but we want to get some reactions to it.
Is it about John Wilkes Booth?
Well, I can finally say who JFK was, taken out by. But no, no, we were just talking about people keep asking me about the Commander Stadium at RFK, and I said, I've been thinking for quite a while. It's not the Commanders; it's the Caps and Wizards that I think can go there, and I got a reason why. And the mayor should hire me after this. Basically, Cap One Arena has kind of served its purpose. And, the neighborhood jumped up. I mean, if you remember what it was like before there, it was literally chickens hanging in windows and surface parking lots. It was an abandoned part of town. And Cap One did a great job, $6 billion in economic development in that area. But it's kind of done it. I think you move that to RFK for a couple reasons. One, it takes much less of that space, so you can convert the neighborhood and say, listen, we're going to do all these other things. We have room. You don't need it. Football is really a vanity project for the city. You don't make any money off that. But you can with this. And you take Cap One Arena, and the mayor has been hot for building, new residents downtown. So it's moved 15,000 people downtown. This is a building you can convert into luxury condos, still keep the economic development in the area. But this way, RFK site wins. And you don't have to pay for a new football stadium if you don't want. Let Virginia do that. And the other thing to remember is, if Caps and Wizards are thinking about going to Virginia, can Virginia also pay for a football stadium and an arena? I don't think so. So I think D.C. has to look in its own interest. You can finally get the RFK corridor fixed. I mean, there's nothing happened there since they built it in 61. It's never been able to revive it. This could. Brings jobs, brings opportunities. You can still have the land for all the things they want. And then Ted gets to, convert his place downtown, and the city doesn't have to pay to upgrade that.
All right.
What do you think?
Two questions. First of all, and this is kind of news to me, and I guess it's been out there for these last few days, that Ted is considering moving these guys, wants to do state. What's wrong with Cap One? It doesn't have all the amenities of a modern arena still. I mean, it's not new. They don't have the luxury suites that they need. And then two, don't you just assume, Rick, if the Caps and Wizards move out, I mean, they can still have concerts there, but then Chinatown's just going to go right back in the toilet again.
He just said they're going to build residences.
Yeah.
In Chinatown?
Yeah.
Sure. You can convert the building. Apparently. Yeah, the mayor wants to convert some of the old government buildings, which would be much harder to do. that whole bureaucracy will never happen. But this is a private building, and it fits into the Penn Quarter neighborhood kind of thing. I mean, the Penn Quarter's always been a neighborhood. The government brought 2,000 Italian stone carvers to that area back in around 1900 to work on the government buildings, and then they got forced out and became Chinatown. In the 1930s, when the federal government moved the Federal Triangle, Chinatown was down, the mall area. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always been a residential kind of passing through. It was even a German neighborhood at one time. So you can bring back the neighborhood there. It still supplements all the other businesses. I know we've had a problem with, crime in that area in recent years. I think Ted would like to move from that, move over.
So is that the issue? Like, what's wrong with Cap One to Ted?
Well, it doesn't have enough rich folk money. Sorry. My heart bleeds for you. We gotta build you things so the rich folk can come and make you more money, but I gotta pay for that out of taxes? I don't think so.
Well, they put a casino in there now, right? Or at least the sports book.
Right, and maybe there is a casino or some other gambling. Maybe it keeps part of the building for that, but you can convert the rest. Easily convert this. It's a huge space, so they could make money that way too.
Is there any evidence that this is happening, or is this strictly a theory from your brain?
It's the proactive economic planning of Rick Snider. But I've been watching this for like a year and a half and seeing hints that something like this could happen, that mostly Ted wants that arena site out at, at RFK. I mean, if you're going to pay for all that new stuff, and RFK has a second metro line that can go in there. I forget what color it is, but they have a second one that's available. So you don't need all that traffic going through anymore, all that. So, it could work. Mm-hmm. I've just seen little things going on. I always say about Ted's not 2 steps in front of you. He's 2 blocks in front of you, and he's going away. I think he's looking at something like that.
Rick, I don't know. I haven't been down to RFK in years. No reason for me to drive down there. What's that area like now? Is that deteriorated big time? And then if it hasn't, would some of the residents that live there now, would they protest a new, arena being built? Right.
Most don't want one.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the stadium, it's like life after people. But around the stadium, they've actually developed quite a lot of it. The Benning Road area, which was really a challenged area for so long, it has got a lot of new stuff. Mm-hmm. It's surprising. It's coming. You can see it. So the citizens want, year-round stuff. And if you take the arena and say, listen, there's 191 acres here. The arena only needs, maybe half, of that. Then the rest can go to these projects you want. And we'll have 200 dates a year for jobs for people to come work. It's a fair deal. It's a fair deal for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say this. In terms of Chinatown, I've talked to a couple business owners down there. One's a former business owner, and he had to close up shop because it got so bad, especially right there near the metro. His employees, who were getting off at 1 a.m, had to get police security to get to their cars. So they just did not feel comfortable. And so he shut it down. He said, I can't do it. No one's coming to my restaurant anymore. So
that'll only get worse, by the way.
So maybe Rick is correct that Ted just knows maybe less people are going down there because they just don't feel safe enough. I don't know. But that could be the main reason. He just wants to get to a safer spot. But it just doesn't seem like Benning Road would be that much safer. I was watching the news this morning, Rick, and there was 2 shootings right there off Benning Road.
Well, off Benning Road. But I'll tell you, listen.
It ain't great.
Benning Road,
it ain't great down there.
Benning Road was really rough. It's gotten better. I'm not saying it's, it's not Colorama, but it's, these kind of things take time. But we've seen a lot of parts of the city in the last 10 years have really improved. And, it could happen there too. But you're going to need it. Yeah, there's not a police presence around Cap One as much as there used to be. And, the young people in this town don't seem to be afraid of the cops anymore. Mm-hmm. I can remember when DC cops, you had to worry about. I mean, I used to be in the tunnel outside of the Redskins locker room, and Cook would be coming. And the cops would literally shove the media into the wall. And you didn't say a thing.
Right.
But they don't seem to be, quite that way anymore. And I don't know, it is a little, scary at times. And I don't blame Ted for wanting to do it. But why aren't you investing more in security then in the area if you're not? This is a $1 billion business. Why aren't you spending that?
Well, again, that's my point. I keep coming back to. They can put all the houses and condos or whatever they want in there. It's only going to get worse if you don't have kind of the natural security that comes with hosting professional sporting events, right? So if they leave, I'm telling you, that area is going to go right in the toilet, and those businesses will eventually move out. That would be my prediction. Number 2, maybe this is, Rick, maybe this just goes without saying, and it's just understood. But remember, Abe Pollin got a ton of credit for kind of revitalizing Chinatown. Maybe it's just Ted just wants that legacy, right, to revitalize the RFK site. Maybe. Yeah,
because look at RFK site. It's been nothing. And then they opened the stadium in 1961. It got a minor bump, but nothing. Nothing has really ever been out there. I mean, they used to have the jail and used to have all the other stuff. The armory's there, and I don't know what they would do with that because that's hard to move. But, they tried things, and nothing has ever worked on that side of town. But, Nats Park Nats Park area was terrible before they built the baseball stadium. I mean, it was worse than the other areas, and they managed to turn that around. So sometimes sports venues and, Cap One also turned that part of town around. So I know that they want something big, more than just, putting a target out at that area. And this could do it, And that's why you get a double venue, because you get the Cap One arena maybe converted into something they want too. So you have 2 things.